What's going on? John
Yo,
Zannis and a very lucid and attentive Jimmy Toscano here, kicking off the
a little
post-game show.
different than last year.
The rest of the gang's at the Garden doing stuff, and they will
Allegedly.
be allegedly, but they're going to join us in a bit, and we're going to go for a bit because it's Celtics Lakers, and this was definitely the game of the year, right?
Definitely game of the year, no questions asked. Tatum's
Yeah,
back. I don't know if you guys noticed my name. Tatum's better. Tatum over LeBron.
yeah.
I did just notice yours, John. He Kanter. Big three for Kanter tonight. I think that's going to be added to the repertoire. So the bad news for Bobby and the Kanter haters is that Kanter is now a 3-point sharpshooter. But we'll get to that
Right
later.
in Bobby's eye.
In his eye. Oh, it felt good.
Yeah.
I do have one.
Friday
one,
night,
but...
Jimmy. Let's go. Let's rock it. I'm afraid to let Josue on because I'm afraid. You
As
ready?
is tradition.
He feels good about it. What's up?
Don't be afraid.
Hey,
Well, no, 'cause
there he is.
Sometimes you can't hear stuff. I like your backdrop, Josue. Look where you are.
Yeah, look at you, fancy. Are you in the some kind of suite? What's going on over there?
I picked a good spot. You know, I said,
Yeah.
Bobby, we can't be right next to each other. He was like, why not? I was like, nah, man, we can't. So I went all the way
Because
over
you'll
there.
hear everything. Yeah.
Can you hear everything?
You get away
we're
from
good.
Bobby. His advice is the best advice. I can
Always,
do.
it's always a good idea, regardless of whether you're
Yeah.
recording or not.
Nah, I'm gonna go stand over here for a little bit. You're cool. No, Josue looks good. Jimmy,
Josue looking like the.
Yo, this is Celtics Lakers, man.
Get
I
out
can't
of
mess around.
You going to dinner after this? What's up?
I might.
Yeah, you got a date. Yeah, if anyone has a question with my attire, it's Legends. Very big friend of the show, Legends. We don't have a promo code for you yet, but I bet you they'll be back. So
they'll be back.
Hold on. But Legends, it's very extremely comfortable clothing. Josue was wearing his Wednesday night. Now he's out in public, so he had to toss on a jacket over his T-shirt.
Yeah,
That might be a Legends T-shirt.
Maybe I'll wear a hoodie. Maybe next
we are of course brought to you by com.com. LeBron's app. Sorry, LeBron's gonna need it tonight. Little meditation, little sleep.
Yeah, this is
let me tell
LeBron.
you something.
You
This
gotta
is
sleep
one
Good
thing-
this one
news,
off.
LeBron.
This is one thing I don't like about LeBron. The second that game was over, he was heading for the tunnel. Everybody daps and pounds by center court. After an L, LeBron was gone. Nowhere to be found. He dapped up a couple of fans on the way out, and that was it. He was livid. I felt like this was kind of the LeBron game, comeback game, where he sort of coasted a bit, right? Especially on defense. He sagged a lot. He was just sort of like that help defensive guy. And I felt like he thought that would be enough. I felt like they overlooked someone like Schroeder continued to do what he was doing in the first half, and that carried over. Crap. They overlooked Tatum, right? By the time they started finally double teaming,
And there goes
him,
the
it was too
read.
late. You know?
We just lost our sponsor. You just trashed the owner of our sponsor, Josue.
First, let me get the
There
promo
goes
code
there
in,
goes the sponsor.
then go on
everybody.
your LeBron take. This is how we do this, okay? We've
Yeah.
done enough
We
of
bleep
these,
that
right?
out. Can we just bleep that out? Our good friend LeBron.
You saw me literally I'll press the other button.
He was rushing to go use the call map. He wanted to use the call map right away.
Yeah, well, good news for
too
LeBron.
late.
is
You
he
can't
get
bring this one back.
40% off.
But
Good news,
40%.
LeBron.
I tried.
40%
So
off
head to
premium subscription.
com.com/garden.
No, thanks, buddy. Good close out. No, you're right though. I was thinking about it too, Josue, in terms of like also on the
40%
bench.
off.
On the bench, he's like, ha ha ha,
Yep. He didn't want to
like,
sit down.
There's a front runner mentality that comes with being, like as great as LeBron and Anthony Davis. And you can remember we dogged Tristan Thompson last year for we're playing for something bigger. Regular season doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you're LeBron, you can have that attitude, and you can carry it a little bit different. So he's a front runner in the sense of like, if my team's gonna play like such dog shit like they did tonight, then I'm out. I did my part. I came back. This wasn't it, and let's just move on to the next game. So the Celtics are just running by them,
And how about Westbrook? Man, like close to nothing out there in terms of just scoring. Like they needed it in a big way in that second half. And
who does this? Is this Bobby every time? Every time Bobby enters the room, we go into that weird mode.
It's like his wrestling entrance.
It's his default, right?
All of a sudden, glass shatters and Bobby changes. There you go again.
It happened again. Bobby, stop it.
Bobby changes all the. I gotta slide over now. The camera's not on.
I kind of like
killing me. Oh, it's the worst. The kid's
Josue, what was
killing
the
me.
scene? What was the scene in the
I'm
Garden
dying
tonight,
because
man?
John says Bobby stop it, like he can hear him. Like, no, stop doing this.
He can hear me. He's there. He's fiddling around. Just get further away from Josue, kid.
Stay over there. My bad,
Can
Jimmy.
we
What you
get can we get a man on the street perspective on what the hell was the Garden like tonight? You get Celtics Lakers with the
Oh
full
man,
stadium tonight.
it was unreal, but it was in the sense of I don't want to say the crowd was split, but it was something like I don't know 70-30 or
A
almost
lot of
even
Lakers
60.
fans.
A lot of Lakers fans in here, man. You saw a lot of those uniforms heading in, filing in, and the Celtics fans just obviously as the game kept going, as the Celtics finally, because remember they were within one.
Bobby, give us a thumbs up when you're ready, buddy.
That's when the
We
crowd
went
started
away.
really getting into this, and then once they pulled ahead, that huge 8-0 run coming out of halftime, that that stretched a long way. I feel like the fans was dialed in from then on, and then the Beat LA chants and everything. I haven't seen a Garden like this in a while, you know.
Yeah, you knew
Been a
they'd
while.
get up. I mean, look.
How loud was Bobby's chants?
That was what, Bobby?
Could you hear Bobby yelling "Beat LA"?
Man, I think this is one of the first times I took in a game, reporting like right next to Bobby the entire game, and he's pretty studious on that side. I was surprised.
Oh yeah, he's taking his notes.
I was more at some point.
Yeah, he strikes me as a nerd.
I was reacting more than he was for sure.
So, we'll break it down. We'll talk about everything that we saw tonight. But there's so many legit good things. It's hard to center in on one. My biggest takeaway by far, and again, the individual performances. You had the really good Tatum game, a really good, probably the best Marcus game of the year, best Tatum game of the year, best Marcus game of the year. I know Tatum had the 41.1, but the effort was there the whole way through tonight in terms of the defense and a lot of different things there. So Tatum played a really complete game tonight. Marcus, Schroeder, Al was great. The Kanter minutes were good. Romeo came in there and had a moment. So there's a lot of
that steal was epic.
Romeo
for Romeo. We don't have to talk about the shot, but it's a good steal.
Romeo had a real moment, but the number one takeaway I think by far is taking it to the basket.
They didn't stop.
They didn't stop. And again, there's people in the chat asking, was that just LA's defense is awful? Or the Celtics was really bought into an approach that, before the game, they decided this is the thing we're going to do. And they did it because you could see them, the wheel spinning, passing up shots and working it. It was in their head. Nope, exactly. We are not settling. We're going to go. And they kept making an extra pass until they had somebody who could attack something.
And more importantly, go ahead.
Awesome. No, it was awesome. That was the best part of the game.
More importantly, I think they started to notice, wait a minute, these guys are fading a bit, right? All of a sudden in the second half, the Lakers are a step slow, right? And I felt like that's when they really started to buy in. There's one play in particular I thought was great. Marcus Smart had a lane right there for him, but instead of getting the layup, he finds Al down low. Like a perfect pass. Like when Marcus is passing like that, and you're not quite sure what he's going to do, that's when he's he completely gets opposing defenses on their heels because they don't know.
Is that the one where Melo didn't know where the hell the ball was?
Yeah. And no, was that the same one? No, this is when Al converted and he got the N1 opportunity. So of course, he could have got the layup there, but getting Al more involved, getting him to the free throw line, I felt like it was contagious. And then the next play, Tatum's going to the rim and he's getting his own N1. He's turning the corner, and Westbrook can't keep up. They try to double team him with Rondo and Horton Tucker, and he was eating them up like he's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like obviously those guys, he has the size advantage. And he took advantage, but not by taking the step back shots, but by going at them and getting to the free throw line. 7 for 7 for the free throw line. That was huge. Yeah. It was a heck of a game for Tatum. We talked about it last game.
Primetime Tatum.
The way he was able to come back from the cold start, it was similar to what we saw a couple of days ago. But in this sense, I felt like a lot of those open shots were just coming out of the rim, just falling. But it still didn't make him think, I can keep taking these threes and they'll eventually start to fall. No, he changed his approach. And I think that changed everything for the Celtics in the second half.
More so, and you like to see it. I will say, as an aside, nothing to do with the game at all, the complaining factor is something we talked about the Celtics. Holy crap, are the Lakers insufferable with that stuff too. It's LeBron. He expects a call every single time. But you got Melo in there too, and then you got AD.
It's
And
all
like,
the former star. Yeah, exactly.
oh my
Guys who
God.
still think they deserve it all.
So between that and again, Tatum's still doing it. Schroeder's working refs. I was rooting for Tex tonight. I'm like, just start teeing guys up. Like I don't want to watch it anymore. But LeBron, those
Shocker.
guys, the Lakers are unbelievable with that stuff. But yeah, Tatum was like, screw it. Here, I mean, it's not going to be I told you so. It's not like they're listening to like us and like, oh, those guys said go to the paint. But like the problems with this team is what? They keep
Jacking
working the
bad
ball.
shots.
They're working the ball around the perimeter to get open threes that they're going to miss. They're the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA.
But John,
So
we got
do
also give
something
credit
else.
Yeah. Well, you also have to give credit to someone like Schroeder. Again, like you didn't have that weapon last year. And even in the first half when they were settling a bit for jump shots, Schroeder continued to move that ball. Schroeder continued to attack the paint. He had a terrific game, all around. And playing against his former team, I mean, we sort of expected that. But I felt like that momentum shift started with Schroeder, in my opinion, in that first half. Sure, the Celtics were trailing mostly throughout. But once they got close, within one, going into halftime, they came out as a different team. It was just a great all-around win for this team. They really needed it.
Yeah. And so that was the thing for me. And the Schroeder gear is that he's got that gear, so he does that. That's how he gets his paint. That's how he gets his points. We knew that coming in when the Celtics got him. But seeing all of those guys, Marcus taking it in and looking to dish. Richardson was consistently after
they played with confidence.
Yeah, a couple shots I didn't like in the first half from Richardson. Step back 2 and a contested 3, but everything else was going to the bucket for him too. All night long. I mean, that fourth quarter was incredible. I don't remember seeing a Celtics team do that for an entire quarter the way they did it there.
And now they have a little bit of a blueprint. Like you have proof that this works. Like you don't have to be lazy and just depend on the threes. Now it's a little different in that fourth quarter when they were leading, so you can kind of play the game a little bit better. I think the problem with them sometimes is they try to tie the game up in one shot. It's like you can't just go down the court and tie the game up in one shot every single time. You're down by multiple possessions. Just work away at it, play defense, and when you play defense, good things happen. They constantly had the Lakers back in transition. I mean, that was the difference. I mean, I sound like Bobby right now, defense, but it really does matter.
Wait, do the voice. I think you got it.
But it really
hey guys, defense.
This team's atrocious on the defensive end.
It's not his fault. He's the smart guy. We're the dumb guys,
Yeah, we play the part. But
we play the part.
And the defense
I've been
translated
playing
to
it
offense,
for a while, yeah.
As it did.
Yeah.
And I know you guys talked about it, but I mean, it is good. And listen, it's one game, but it is good to see Tatum have a game that he did tonight because you just feel, that it's a slump. And I know we've been on the show saying it's a slump, but it was a long slump. And I'm not saying it's over, but when you have one of those high percentage nights, it can really get you going back in the right direction again. Jimmy, you got to do Bobby's laugh. No, I'm not doing Bobby's laugh. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, Tatum. It's one of those nights where, he can build off that, hopefully. Celtics can. Schroeder's just doing his thing. Like, I wasn't surprised to see him play the way he did. He's been doing it all season long. And I really do think he sets the pace out there a lot of times when he's out there. Guys have to keep up. Celtics players have to keep up, which is nice because sometimes, they get caught in that half court, walk up the ball and all that stuff, and it leads to a rushed 3 at the end and a miss. So when Schroeder's kind of slicing and dicing his way, that can open things up elsewhere. So great game from him, and Smart, as you guys mentioned, had probably his best game of the season as well. So I don't know if it's because it's the Lakers are in town or if something clicked, but it was just a different sort of team tonight.
Yeah. Once I changed Bobby's name,
and we're back.
My God, he did it again. I can't stand this kid.
How is he doing that?
I don't know. I think when he goes to put in his name, like Bobby, I think you're hitting something when you're putting in your name.
There he is.
Look at
that. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It is doing it when I come in.
It is the professor.
Glasses
in the
are
house.
Off. Glasses are
Bobby,
off.
Bobby, we were talking about the points in the paint and the commitment to driving there.
And
I know we texted about it, and I know you tweeted about it as well. But like What did it look like to you that they were like, wow, the Lakers suck at this and this is what we got to do to score? Or there was just a mind shift from the team going in that we are not, like, after so many poor shooting performances back to back to back to back, missing all these open looks, they just said to themselves, we're going for it. Like, we're attacking, we're changing our philosophy. We're no longer the 3-point shooting team. We are going to be aggressive and we're going downhill.
I saw that from Smart. I think he definitely set a tone in that regard late in the first when he kept getting downhill for those 10-footers, the floaters, all the different things he did there. A couple and ones in that first too. So that's definitely where it started. I think that approach by him, as the point guard, really set a tone tonight. And this was probably his best performance ever in that regard. I was looking at the stats. In terms of his volume, this had to be his most efficient night ever, and going downhill was a big reason for that. Otherwise, I think, they just drew bigs out of the paint.
That's why I put that up there, but go ahead.
They drew a ton of bigs out of the paint throughout this game, Davis and others, and there were wide open lanes to the paint. You saw again and again, Schroeder got switches on Melo, blew right by him. He was blown by pretty much everyone in this one. So the personnel was there for them to really attack. The Lakers are just kind of sluggish, feet in the mud. No one was moving their feet defensively or doing much of anything on that end. So it was kind of the perfect storm here. But the approach, John, as you say, 5 threes until garbage time in the fourth. That's all they took. Everything else was in the paint.
Yep.
It was unbelievable watching it because they never do that. This was one of the lead shooting teams, within 5 feet, within the entire league through this game. And this is going to definitely bump them up in that regard. 56 points in the paint. Like, it was, you don't see this from the Celtics. Like, this was awesome.
But the Lakers average is about 50. This is this is a problem for them. Their defense has been really, really bad this year. And again, it's been with, kind of weird personnel because they've had guys in and out. But the Lakers have not been good at this season, so I think they sensed a weakness. You don't want to see them revert back to it because, like I said, it did seem like it was a real area of focus where they were passing up shot opportunities, it felt like, to make an extra pass, to get to somebody, to find their matchup, or to find somebody who could attack, and they were attacking nonstop that whole fourth quarter, and I mean, really much of the game.
And that's what they needed to do. You're missing threes, change the approach.
38 free throws.
Udoka.
38 free throws is insane, right?
He gives them the flexibility to shoot these mid-rangers too, which is good.
I just feel like it was always easier said than done.
I told you mid-range is coming back, but go ahead.
Because
points in the paint.
When they're frustrated, when they're in their feelings, so to speak, that's when they revert to bad habits, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. I mean, there's a lot of those games that they lost in the first couple of weeks of the season that it was just like they couldn't control themselves. It was like they would go back to those, open shots or hero shots, and seeing these guys come together the way they did against this Lakers team. I mean, obviously both of these teams went into this matchup as mediocre records and still trying to find their way, but this is a heck of a win because the Celtics, again, to come from behind and do it, obviously the national televised game and TD Garden Friday night, like the beat LA chants, like all that stuff is just it goes back to what we've been saying all season long, right? Like, show some pride, man. This is where you go out and say, okay, Celtics, Lakers, we're gonna put it all out on the floor there. That's exactly what they did, in my opinion. For 48 minutes, which is something we haven't seen all season long.
Yeah, and again, no Rob, no Jalen. So I mean, it's hard to
short-handed.
And you know what?
Really,
And Jimmy, what happened? What else happened?
Together.
Sparky didn't make a shot and turn it over, but oh well.
I think we were.
Somebody said, Jimmy, do you like Nesmith over Richardson? I said last show. What did I say to you guys? I said I'm starting to come around on Richardson.
If we've ever had to do a group apology, Cam, it would be on Richardson.
It would be
for sure. I was thinking
every single one of us, and a lot of fans too, were dead wrong, and all of us were in the Nesmith over Richardson camp. All of us.
Even last show you said play the kids. But
because the shooting was killing us because we didn't, that really it was
you want to play them for a different reason. Yeah, it's not because you think that they're better. It's just you want to see what you have. But
yeah.
I already pretty much admitted last show. I was like, I'm kind of doing a 180 on Richardson. He's just a solid, dependable veteran who does what you need him to do out there on both ends of the court. I originally thought he was just going to do a lot of nothing, and he was just going to kind of be a guy that was just there. And I think we all kind of thought his shot was a little bit of a liability. But hand up, wrong. I mean, I'll admit it when I'm wrong. I've never not admitted it when I'm wrong. So
No, that's just me.
Yeah, so in this case, listen, right now it's Richardson. Am I giving up on Nesmith completely? Yes, I am. No, I'm just kidding. Not yet. Not quite. Not quite. Okay, but I don't really have much to go on with that other than I'm just refused to give up on him yet. But
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
Richardson
he's
right
getting
now.
more opportunities
Richardson
on
was
the dribble, which is really where he's comfortable, right? Like he's a ball handler, and that's where he's going to create for himself out of. He's not a catch and shoot guy. He's an okay cutter, but creating for himself has been where he's gotten it done. Transition in this game, good looks at the rim. You look at his percentages since the Dallas game. It's like 6 of 12, 5 of 9, 2 of 6, 4 of 6, 5 of 10, 5 of 11. Just throwing out efficient nights. And, he's been an okay three-point shooter for them.
Richardson led the team in plus minus tonight. You know who was second, Bobby?
Who was it?
I'll let you guess.
Was it Kanter swallowing up the boards? He was all right.
Your man Kanter, plus 21.
Kanter in there taking all the Jabari minutes away.
Yeah,
but he didn't say anything to LeBron about his tweet, though.
I know. That was kind of I was hoping there would be something there. Maybe he said something and we didn't hear it or see it.
ESPN did. LeBron can't say anything there because he's going to get. He doesn't want.
No, I meant them two to each other.
Yeah, I mean 1-on-1. Yeah.
No, I think he wants to not engage because he doesn't want there to be a moment because he doesn't want it to be called out. Because
Kanter's going to repeat whatever he says. So yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, he's coming out. But
so confirmed. LeBron is scared of Kanter. Confirmed.
Yes, he did not want that smoke.
He did not want the Kanter smoke. Clearly, he wasn't anywhere near Kanter. Plus 21 tonight. So
not for physical reasons. I feel like he don't want the backlash.
You don't want this. You don't want the whole package.
He's not trying to become a hashtag.
No, he does not want it. I thought for a minute, by the way, I thought Romeo was gonna boof it on LeBron. When he had him in the corner,
clamped him.
No, he had him in the corner and he went to the basket and it ended up being a foul. But that
Romeo had a nice little run there.
That Romeo moment when he went out on LeBron, he wasn't scared of him at all. He got up on him. Yeah. All the way up to half. LeBron did the little back pedal to half court to set it up, and Romeo's like, "I'm coming with you." That was great. That was a good moment. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it is great to see that they can keep
for those kids.
Yeah, he's earned his minutes right now. Go ahead, Bobby.
I was gonna say it's great to see that they can survive without Brown now too, because obviously they're gonna take it slow with him. He's nearing a return. They didn't rule out the possibility of tomorrow, but they've given him these extra days off. As Udoka said, he's been pushing to get back, but they're taking it slow. And it's great that they've kind of just survived through this stretch here. They've competed. They've raised the level of the defense. They've found other contributors on offense. I love the Schroeder-Smart combo. Like, I really don't want to see that go away. They complement each other so well. Neither of them shoot, but it doesn't matter because they both attack. They're both so good on the defensive end of the floor. They're both playmakers. Like, that's such a good thing that you're about to break up here when Brown gets back, and I don't want to see it happen.
Well, you got to leave Grant in the starting lineup, so one of those guys has to go.
Grant was awful tonight.
Grant got the LeBron treatment.
Why'd he double Tucker off of LeBron? That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen when he dunked early in the game.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this wasn't.
There was another play, too, I can't think of that was kind of ridiculous. Well, they did hit a three down the stretch and, had an offensive rebound, too. So he did a few things.
I mean, it's a really tough situation out there when, David, those guys were looking at Grant like he was like he was like they were starving and he was a sandwich. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm going after that." It was their eyes were this big when Grant was on the floor. How can I get switched on to him? How can I get? I thought Davis was going to score 70 points tonight when things started out there.
He got rolling that first.
Yeah.
That's another thing. They were down 12 in this game, and then they just shot ahead. That's why that stretch for Smart got like 4 or 5 shots around the rim and that late in the first. That completely changed the game. I thought everybody just kept flowing downhill off of that approach by him. And I got to say it over and over again. This was the best offensive game Smart's ever had.
Yeah.
Just his approach, his efficiency.
It was
picked his spots from three, playmaking. He did it all. And he was great defensively, too. I mean, Smart is really starting to put together a good season. He started so slow, but he leads the league in steals, had that double on Davis early, active with the hands. I mean, like I said, him and Schroeder are a great complement for each other defensively in that regard. And finally, like, we've been waiting for this forever. Don't just launch the three when you get open. Go downhill, create some second-level attacks.
Yeah, work it, get to the basket, drive and kick. I mean, he did everything. And the shot selection was literally exactly what you would like to see there. You know, not just jacking threes at every opportunity, you know, at a time where it makes sense. He only had two attempts, you know, the rebounds, the assists. I mean, he was just everywhere tonight, you know.
And he can draw 5 free throws every game. He's starting to hit them as his career goes on.
If you could have this Marcus Smart, or 80% of this every single game, you would have no complaints. This was outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum is the second youngest player with a 35-point, 10-rebound game in the history of the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. Ooh, it's the rivalry, dude.
We knew he was going to get up for this one.
Behind, anyone know who he's behind? Vern Mickelson.
Oh, good
Vern Mickelson.
Great player.
I don't know if he was on the Jumbotron, but I wouldn't have noticed
He's up there with the Mickelsons now. That's my stat of the night.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy. What else you got?
ESPN. I found that on ESPN Stats and Info.
No, you got the mic now. You go.
No, that's it. Ime Udoka on Jason Tatum's big night. We stressed making quick decisions. He holds it at times, and they load up. He did it from everywhere tonight. He got off the ball, which he's done all year, just trusting his teammates. That's from the Celtics CLNS Twitter account. You guys should all follow that if you don't.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Yeah, that
back to you.
No, but that's it. You got to pass out of the doubles quick. You can't get dribble if you're Tatum. You've got to make your decisions fast. Move the ball or attack.
You say that all the time. They say the same things to him. We're not idiots after all.
I know, but I mean, it's like literally, it's like, oh my God, don't, because again, it's
go
and run. Go. He ran a little bit in this game.
You can move with it now. You have the ball. You can now go.
And then once you pass, go somewhere. You know, like
there were a few hustle plays from him too in this game. Like it was a playoff game where he stole the ball.
The LeBron tip, you know,
from
exactly.
Or you know what I liked? What I really liked was in the fourth quarter, the and one and the huge fired up celebration into the crowd. You don't really see that too often with Tatum.
This is like a playoff Rondo
kind of rise up
for Tatum, you know?
He was feeling it tonight.
There was a different level of aggressiveness for him for certain. And again, I said this last game. We can use any excuse in the world, and there's quite a few for him for this start. But at the core of it, he was just playing bad. He needed to play better, and you've seen at times he's been capable of having some massive games, and he's done it. And finally, this was one of his vintage performances. I love the pass to Horford in the second half. Passing's getting better. I know John doesn't love talking about it, but he's making progress in that regard. He had a nice two-man game in the corner with Horford. By the way, have you ever seen a basket called back? That was so weird to me.
The process, the whole way it unfolded was weird. It was the right call, but it was just strange how that happened.
I've never seen that happen.
He was standing out of bounds, and then like just on the side, they were like, "By the way, take that basket away," and everyone was like, "What?"
They'll change 2s to 3s on those type of plays. But I've never.
But to see it come off the board was weird.
Yeah.
No, Bobby, we joke about potential assists, but I almost texted you during the game because Tatum had a couple. You know, when they did start a little cold from 3, but Tatum had a couple where he swung, to Grant on a good pass on an open 3, and he just missed it early. And it's making those passes matters, and he was trying to make some of them. And again, they're not all going to convert into assists, but he's trying to move the ball, even if it was just to get it moving instead of just to stay, with him, with everybody else standing around. That's as much the key as anything. Just get it out of your hands. You don't always have to get the assist or give it to the guy to score. Just keep it moving a little bit. And they did that tonight a lot, so credit to him for that.
Yeah, it's like the offense is learning that if you give the ball up, you can get it back, and it
I
happened in this
know.
game.
Exactly.
That's what we've
that's
been
a John
saying.
line from last seation.
I know.
You'll get it back. Don't worry.
They're so afraid. They're like, if I give this up, I'll never see the ball again. I'm like, you will, guys. You will. It happens, you know?
If everyone does it, you'll get it back.
Especially if you run somewhere else and you're like in a good position, someone might recognize that and give you the ball, you know? But yeah, no, that was good stuff. What else do we like tonight other than the Tatum comeback, the Smart? We talked about Schroeder. Bobby, any other observations?
I was gonna go Schroeder revenge game. He was so good. I know you guys probably talked about that a little bit.
Jimmy loves it.
Where's Sherrod at? Sherrod gonna be on tonight?
He's coming. He had a Bleacher Report obligation. We were gonna save the Schroeder stuff for him, but we can do a little now.
I don't see anyone else who really sticks out. I said I like the length minutes. Kanter was all right. And you got
more than all right
minutes on the stretch from Grant. This was a 4-man show though. Richardson, Smart, Schroeder, Tatum, and Schroeder. Like, it amazes me. He's shooting close to 70% at the basket this year. Yeah. His efficiency down there on drives is just mind-blowing. Soft touch, but he blows by guys. The speed's incredible.
He went past Westbrook a couple times like he was standing still. It was phenomenal. He's so fast.
I think it was either Richardson or Jalen.
I'm telling you, when he turns on the Jets, it's game over.
One of the Celtics players we were talking to earlier in the year said he's one of the fastest guys they've ever seen, period, in this league. And you see it, like the way he just blew 2-3 steps.
He might be faster than Rondo.
He's the fastest guy alive.
He is. Yeah, he leaves guys in the dust.
We saw prime Rondo. Schroeder might have a gear beyond that.
That was always the comparison when Schroeder was just coming up into the league.
The German
Rondo then is now kind of like Schroeder now. They're still very similar players to this day. I mean, I think maybe Rondo was maybe a little craftier or something. He's a little bit maybe better with the ball.
Much better passer.
Yeah, much better passer.
Better ball handler, worse shooter, even though Schroeder's not a good shooter.
But like similar styles in a way. They're both kind of fiery out there.
Speed guys.
Fiery guys.
Coming into the
Smart.
league, he mentioned
although Schroeder
Rondo was someone that he used to sort of
I think that's where the comparison came from, Josue. Yeah.
Well, they always used to get into it with each other too.
Well, yeah, but also it was a level of respect from Schroeder, right? So I feel like just him watching Rondo, you saw it naturally. Now you see it even more so because he's developed. He's been in the league for quite a while.
You remember what was the number one? I don't know if you guys remember back then. The number one anecdote told about Rondo when he was entering the league. The one story that everyone would tell about him, just to talk about how fast he was and how impressive he was. They were talking about like a play where he made a basket. And then sprinted back and intercepted the inbounds pass at half court. Just how quick he would be. Like he was just like bing, bing, bing. But yeah, Schroeder's insane right now. That's the thing is like he's such
national
a
TV game for Schroeder.
But you see, he had 3 or 4 really sloppy passes in the first half.
I was just gonna say the behind the back out of bounds.
But I think all 4 of those turnovers were in the first half and none in the second half. So he cleaned it up a lot. But again, when you need offense and when things like tonight, everybody went to the basket, but how many nights have there been where no one's generating anything offensively and it's contested jumper, bad shooter taking open 3 and Schroeder's like, oh, screw this. And he just goes and he gets those buckets. And you're like, oh, thank God they got an easy basket or 2 with him going to the cup. He's done it all year. I think he's averaging like 18 points a game now, right?
Yeah, he's getting there. We're going to hear from Marcus right now. So I'm going to bounce over the presser and bring back some fire.
Do your thing. All right, Bobby will jump and we'll keep going. While Bobby's gone, I'll take a moment. Will I take a moment now? Should I take a moment now?
Will you take a calm moment?
I might take a calm moment. We're pretty calm. But I do want to let people know. No, we're going to take a calm moment, I think.
Okay.
I got to find it.
So calm.com/garden.
I got to find my read.
40% off your subscription to the world's #1 sleep app. And it's not just for sleep, although that's
by
a
the
great
way,
aspect of it.
sleep app and sleep apnea sound too much the same.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
Anyway, it is a good point. You got to do something with that, Calm. But calm.com/garden, 40% off. As we said, #1 app for sleep and meditation, teamed up with LeBron James to help you activate the power of sleep. When it comes to athletes, you always hear about physical fitness, but the other side of the game is just as important, and that's mental fitness, and that's what Calm does for you. Whether you're an athlete or not, just to be on your game, #1 app for sleep and meditation is what you should be focused on now. You got sounds of – are you playing it, Jimmy?
Yeah, so this is the ocean. This is white noise called Ocean, sir.
You're not feeding it to your mic like you usually do? All right.
So if you ever grew up around the ocean or the beach and that sort of sound resonates with you, then this is perfect.
Shout out to all the people
bring
on
you
hold.
right back. Or maybe you want an amazing vacation and it just calms you down, no pun intended, to hear something like this. Perfect situation for you.
Perfect.
And you can get it for 40% off right now.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And if you hate the ocean, then you don't have to go anywhere near that sound. You can go raindrops. You can go, anything you can think of, really.
Yeah.
Fan. Just a fan.
Stories. They got stories.
And they also have music. I know I've said that before.
Yeah. So for limited time, 40% off. Limited time, 40% off Calm Premium subscription. Calm.com/garden. CALM.com/garden. Head over there. Get your 40% off.
So this is a Breathe In remix from Ariana Grande. Calm.com.
Get it off.
Hold on.
Jimmy, explain yourself.
No, I can't.
Jimmy, we don't want to hear your cover.
Right. We can't. Right. Okay, it's off. Okay, but just picture Ariana Grande's Breathing song, but it's remixed by the Calm folks, and you can actually
can't
go
do music on YouTube.
Yeah, John's gonna get an email
can't
from
do
BMI.
the music. Copyright, Jimmy. Is this we've done.
We'll
this
bleep
before.
that part out.
Anyway,
it wasn't stereo quality, so I don't think anyone's gonna be too upset about it.
There we go. Friggin' drunk Jimmy. Have a sip. There we go.
Oh yeah,
all right, that one's on me. That last one was on me. I'm not equipped for copyright infringement talk right now.
Copyright strike.
You got about 6 to the left, right? How many?
No, me and Ariana go way back. She'll be okay with it.
No, we'll be good. That's a tech for Jimmy. We need like.
Get teed up.
I got too excited with the read. That's just me too hard. I left it all out there for the read, man.
He did. Josue, so you're there. Any other scenes from the game?
Aside from the atmosphere, I mean, obviously Bill Russell on the screen and Paul Pierce, the crowd went crazy for that. And again, I think it's great for this team to see that, because they have to get back to having that Celtic pride. I really do think that's relevant. And I'm not saying, I know we were joking around the other night about, Tatum, man, does he even wear any Celtics apparel if he's not at work? I mean, yeah, we were exaggerating a bit, but obviously we would like to see guys like Smart or, Tatum mention the fact that, hey, this is an honor, not that it's about winning championships in this city, because obviously it is. It's not like, if you don't win one, then you don't understand how prestigious it is. But I think they should learn to
still waiting, but
they should learn to a certain extent of like what those banners truly mean above you, right? And I feel like games against the Lakers like this, or any game nationally televised, when you're on the spot like that, like you want to see them respond like the way they did tonight. So it's really encouraging for me. It really is, especially in front of
cool.
in front of legends like Pierce and Russell.
Did Pierce must have got a good ovation from everybody.
I hate to say it, but I feel like the ovation was louder for him than Bill Russell. But yeah.
Oh, the new fans. The old like, who's this guy?
They play the old the pump up. Come on, guys, let's make some noise. Like the old Pierce video, like not even from the Big Three era. This was like that looked like an 02 video, like one of those old school ones. Like, so yeah, man, it was a lot of Friday night at the Garden, Celtics Lakers. It was just that feel to it, where everyone was just
Bill
like,
Russell
right.
was
this
crushing peanut M&Ms. I don't know if anyone saw in the broadcast. They got him absolutely housing a big old bag of peanut M&Ms, which is a good choice, to be completely honest.
It's underrated. Yeah, it's very underrated candy. That's true. The peanut ones.
I wonder how many bags it takes to really satisfy a guy like Bill Russell. I mean, he's a big dude. I mean, one little bag. What's that? It's like a can of soda. You know, if Shaq opens up a can of soda, like, is that really?
No, you know what? I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures of Andre the Giant
I
drinking,
have. That's
drinking
actually
beer.
crazy.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen
It looks fake.
it's like he's holding, like it's like there's little cans of pineapple juice, like
Yeah, exactly.
but his hand is like, and he could drink like 120 of them, but there's like that.
He's like, I can't get drunk. I'm on beer 50.
It's unbelievable.
There's a big debate on what the best.
Bobby, don't touch anything. I don't want it to go crazy again. Okay, just
Bobby,
don't
touch everything.
Back.
Wow.
All right.
What's the best M&M?
Again.
What's the best
peanut
M&M?
butter. Peanut butter.
So I heard that recently, and that was kind of surprising to me. I've never really gotten in. I've never
What's
really
funny is
bought a bag of peanut butter.
Peanut butter M&Ms are the best by far, and they're so much better than their counterpart Reese's Pieces. It's not even close.
I guess
that's crazy. Yeah.
Guess for killing time until Sherrod comes, huh?
Reese's Pieces thought they cornered the market. Then M&M was like,
Jimmy
no, we can do that too.
I got a question for you guys. How was Paul during the broadcast? Did you guys check out the ESPN or did you guys watch the local?
I was on ESPN.
I was on ESPN.
I hate to say it.
Oh.
No offense to the local guys. I like to get the national perspective when I can sometimes. No offense to the local guys, I just like to get the national perspective. That's all.
Oh, speaking of ESPN, I got a Jalen Rose story. It's a little teaser right there. Go ahead, Bobby.
This was the case last year too. I think John and I have talked about, but the national people have loved the Celtics this year. They're high on the defensive potential of this group. I think us, including I, actually a little bit lower on them. You had some people ranking them 3. Bobby Marks, I know Zach Lowe probably had them up there too. So, the National, they've been kind of glowing. I don't know what they were saying about them in this game, but I think they underrated the offensive concerns with this group. And, it's great to see this approach in this game, but do you think this is going to last? That's kind of my question out of this.
That was the question we were talking about. Was it a one-off? Was it the moment? Was it the Lakers being so bad? By the way, Bobby did it. He didn't even know it. We were in that weird squeeze box. Was it the Lakers being so bad at defending the paint that the Celtics were able to exploit that? I don't really know.
I think it definitely was matchup dependent. Ime even said that. Smart just said we had advantages we wanted to take of in that regard. Probably Carmelo and some of these smaller wings that they were able to go at downhill. Not much rim protection on this team when Davis is on the perimeter. So here's something I noticed too, and Josue and I were talking about this. LeBron wasn't covering anyone. Like, he was just out there floating around.
Because
I mentioned that a little bit earlier.
He was on Grant, and he wasn't respecting it at all. So he's playing free safety, basically. He wasn't on anybody. Because I think Grant was his assignment in the first and third quarter when it was with the starters. So he's like,
a little bit off Smart too.
He's like, I'm not friggin' defending this guy. He's like, this is so beneath me. I've never been asked to start a game defending a player of this guy's caliber. He seemed insulted by the task. He's like, I'm not doing it.
The starting lineups came out, and he was like,
no.
It was like that old clip of Zion in like AAU where he's going up against like the 10-year-old, and he's like,
he loves doing that. Remember,
LeBron walked up to Grant and he's like, "Hi, I'm LeBron James. Nice to meet you. Is this your first day?"
He turned his back on Olynyk before just throwing the ball down on him in that playoff game.
Yeah.
Just turned his back, went behind the legs, and then just blew right by him.
Yeah.
He can be a disrespectful player.
But he was like, I'll just guard everybody. He was like, I'm not guarding this guy. I'll just guard everybody.
The amazing thing about him,
I'm going to cheat off him by not covering him at all.
He had a very casual game. All those fadeaways, Davis's fadeaway, like they were just jump shot city here, and that's why they only had 36 points in the paint. They didn't throw a grueling challenge at the Celtics. They threw like one quick blow offensively, but Russell Westbrook was awful again. Just nowhere to find offense for him. Some of these role guys they have, like this Lakers team on paper, a lot of people expected a ton from them. You look at what they got here, and they're going through injuries, but it's a Western Conference contender to me. There's better teams out there. They might figure it out a little bit, but I never saw them going to the finals. Just too many old brittle pieces.
It's not 2 names.
Herman
Gomez.
That's
I was wondering what you were laughing at.
That's his new name, Herman.
I'm calling him Herman forever.
Why don't they play Herman Gomez? Because he doesn't exist. He's not a human being.
I love it. Herman Gomez.
Hernan Gomez got 3 minutes tonight, though.
It's like getting funnier now.
We're just kidding with you, Tino. It's nothing crazy.
I know. Tino's like, shit, voice text. Yeah, no, I get it. I knew it was an accident. It just, seeing it on the screen killed me.
That's funny because your texts come out like that sometimes too.
It's exactly, it's like my voice to text shit, you know.
That doesn't even seem facetious either. I think, you just kind of,
no,
just kind of how it came out. You think it was voice text?
No, I just think that was an autocorrect. He typed in Hernan Gomez and it split it into Herman Gomez.
Yeah.
We always just call that one player by his full name, no matter what.
We got the Schroeder spelling spinning everybody's heads. It's a tough team to type out this year.
I know. We'll get there. But, crap. I don't know. I mean, back-to-back. See, the best thing about tonight is, like, you don't have to wait a couple days to see whether or not there's going to be a letdown. Back tomorrow is a good thing. So I do want to see it. Having a little bit of a blowout and getting able to – I mean, it wasn't a full rest sort of game. I wonder if we get healthy. It feels like, the word on Jalen was he's, he needed a couple more workouts to see if he's going, and that to me means he's not playing tomorrow either.
That was someone followed up on that, and he was like, "Oh, there's a chance," but maybe 2 more workouts. That does kind of sound like it's days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby, what did you get anything from your guy Marcus or no?
No, nothing too crazy. I mean, he was talking a little bit about the strategy and what got them downhill. Talked about the matchups that they like, but him just reminding guys too not to settle. That is interesting, given his past approach. But at the same time, like I just got to give him so much credit for actually making that adjustment. It's late in his career to be making that change, but this isn't just a one-off for him. I actually feel like over the last 2 weeks we've seen him downhill a lot more. Other than that, just kind of some sentiments that he didn't expect much out of this opening stretch here. He knew it was going to be tough between the coaching change, some of the role changes, all that kind of stuff. And that's basically what's led them here. And, 8-8 through a pretty grueling stretch, lots of road games. With the upcoming schedule, Thunder tomorrow, Rockets on Monday. I know the Nets could be tough on Wednesday, depending on who's out there. There's a chance for them really to start to pile up some wins here, start to build a little bit over 500. And, you look at the standings, they're only about a game. We talk about guys being like a shot or two off of their averages and like what's normal for them. They're really a game or two back of where we predicted them to be. So the backdrop of the start isn't too dramatic.
I don't disagree, Bobby, but what I'll say is like, even of their wins, there's only been like 3 all year, maybe 4 of the 9 where you weren't pissed at the end of the win, they were kind of like, they won it, but it was hideous, so there was a couple good ones. Obviously the Miami one, the Charlotte game I thought was good.
They don't have a bad loss, do they?
Milwaukee, you had 3 starters out, and you had to go to overtime.
Maybe that Cavs one.
Are you kidding? They lost. They've blown
Raptors blowout. What do you mean?
They've blown 2 19-point leads this year. They lost. They got blown out by the Raptors at home in the home opener.
They lost both to the Wizards.
That's
2
out of 16.
Both to the Wizards.
No, it's more.
I don't think that was. The Wizards are the best team in the East.
I know, but still, they lost 2 games to the Wizards there. They looked like, again, they're down 2 starters, Atlanta.
Oh, I thought you were labeling that one of the disappointing losses.
No, just saying it's a fact. They lost 2 to the Wizards.
I'm just saying they probably have
Bulls
2
and Cavs,
bad losses.
And Toronto, 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Cavs are a good team, though, and they were pretty short-handed for that game.
Yeah.
2 19-point leads and getting blown out by Toronto in your home opener. Those were 3 very bad losses.
Yeah, that Bulls loss was like horrific.
But the Bulls are, like a team you lost to that you should have absolutely beaten. Like if they go and lose to Houston on Monday, that's what I mean.
Okay.
They did have a tough time with Houston in that game. It was another ugly win, but they scrapped them out. they've had a tough schedule to start this year is kind of my point. Lots of tough games on the road, weird road trips. It's not the excuse or the explanation for what's gone on, but I think it's a factor that's gone in here. And as they start to pile up more home games,
it's a bad schedule to start, bad injury luck as well, a series of overtime games. The story could be totally different. And yeah, we even said it last time. They could easily be 10-6 or 11-5, and the narrative would be totally different because they'd be squeaking out some games and surviving. And that's
you do hate that though, because that was kind of the story of last year too.
That's what last year felt like. They survived it, and they were 11-3, and we might have gotten a little bit of false hope with the team. So, we'll see what they turn into. But you're right. You want to pad your stats here, get a little bit healthy versus some of the bottom feeding teams, and then just be. My God, I mean, we've done it again. Your starting lineup or whatever you wanted it to be of Rob, Smart, the Jays, and Horford have played like zero time together. I mean, I don't know how many minutes, but somebody put it out there today. It's so little time. Again, we're right back where we were with this. Like, how can you establish an identity and get into any serious rotations and figure out who you want to be when you can't get everybody on the court at the same time? It's ridiculous.
Fortunately, I do think they have an idea. They're going to keep rolling with that double big lineup, and it's been fairly successful. But anyway, we're going to hear from Dennis right now, so maybe we'll get something more interesting from him.
Oh, you think so?
I'm kind of.
Yeah, I love how Schroeder pulled up with the shades on in the
Did he?
The winter hat. Yeah, that's his thing. He's been doing it a lot, especially when in games like
That's
this.
his look.
Yeah,
that's his look.
But yeah, look, this homestand, to Bobby's point.
Well, Marcus Smart had a look. He had like a Christmas look going tonight or something.
I just think it's possible, that this team could actually turn a corner in the sense of just putting together some wins and throughout this homestand. Maybe they drop a game or two, but for the most part, I think we're gonna just off of this Lakers win. I think this is something they could really build off of. I mean, if LeBron didn't play, different circumstances, in my opinion. I mean, regardless of how LeBron's not 100%, but the fact that he was out there and I think that means something to these guys. I think it meant something to Schroeder. Obviously playing against his former team, but this is the kind of win that can galvanize this team. And I'm not saying that they're gonna take off of the races from here on out, but just for this homestand, I would love to see this team really start to pick up some momentum.
I would also. I want to see something. And again, you've got the 4 home games in a row, and you've got 2 of them against. What's the 4th one against? What do they have?
They have the Nets,
Thunder,
the Nets. You get the Nets on Wednesday, the day before.
No, Thunder, Rockets, Nets. No, Rockets and then Nets. Yeah.
OKC, Rockets, and then the Nets right before Thanksgiving, which is fun. So this is a good stretch for them to see what they have. Before. Did Bobby leave again? Yeah, Bobby left again.
Yeah, he wanted to go see Schroeder.
Oh, all right. We'll hang till Bobby gets back here, and then we're going to wrap up the show. We've gone a bit, and we have another one coming back tomorrow, so there's more stuff to talk about for sure. But, definitely. Jimmy, I know we spent a lot of time killing Tatum for the expectations. How confident are you that this was anything more than a primetime, I'm going to show these guys it's the Lakers sort of effort? And any concern, we're back to, the back and forth inconsistent that we've seen?
I wouldn't say I'm concerned. I mean, I've always believed that Tatum, the talent is there, and I was never really concerned that he lost his shot or he's too strong now to shoot.
No,
it just never made any sense.
I thought it was approach based, but yeah.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it's always a good thing when the shooter breaks out of his slump like that. And now, is he going to go drop 35 for the rest of the homestand? I'm not going to say that, but the efficiency was there tonight. The aggressiveness, the intensity. It was everything you wanted to see in your superstar player you saw tonight in Jason Tatum. So I would like to see that more often. I mean, I think there are going to be nights where he doesn't show up in a way that people are just going to question and say, why is the inconsistency still happening? But more often than not, I think you're going to see a guy that's going to be more reliable on the offensive end and give you just a full court basketball, both ends. That's what I'm looking for. So it was great to see it tonight. I mean, I didn't expect 37, but I thought that he would definitely show out against, the Lakers, a team that he's, grew up. Obviously, we all know the whole story. And, ESPN game, and he likes to silence the doubters. And the one thing I'll say about Tatum is that everyone on the court respects his game, whether it's his teammates or his opponents. They all know. They go out of their way to say how good this guy is. I mean, even like randomly, we were all looking at the Tristan Thompson quote. He was on the podium, was it last night or the night before, kind of going in on the struggles that they have, and he went off on a quote and he listed like 4 or 5 of the best players,
and he listed
basically
Tatum.
saying. And he listed Tatum. Yeah, I mean, he basically.
We don't have a LeBron. We don't have a Luka. We don't have a
Paul
Tatum.
George.
Yeah.
We don't have a James Harden. We don't have a Jason Tatum. And it was like, if that's what these guys think of Tatum as, or what he's capable of being, then yeah, we're gonna have nights where we're all frustrated and we say hurtful things and we say things that we maybe don't mean. But we all know what this guy's capable of when he puts it together.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew it wasn't a matter of if; it was a matter of when, right? We knew this wasn't going to it wasn't the beginning of the end of Tatum. Like we knew he would turn around eventually. We just didn't know. Like we've seen in the past, especially with Tatum, that these slumps can last a while. So
that's what kills me. Is again, it wasn't the misses; it was the approach. He kept when the worse it got, the more he relied on the stuff that was making him struggle, which was ISO and long twos. He was ISOing at a greater frequency than he had in either of the last few years, and he was taking a higher percentage of shots between 10 feet and the three-point arc, which is like the only 2 things they've been telling him not to do. You're trying to drill in his head. To me, yeah, take the threes. Like I didn't want him to stop taking threes. If they're open, you want to take threes. But the rest of it was work for your baskets, get to the line. Like it's so frustrating watching him just try to set guys up and get hot that way. I know that's how it's worked for him in the past, where when he went on that stretch, the pre-bubble stretch, where he just lost his mind and he was dropping 45 every game.
Yeah.
That was all contested too. That was basically just him just shooting it in people's eye all game long on these shots that like everyone on the opposing bench was like, oh my God. He went on one of those types of runs where it's like, whatever. Tonight was going to the basket, going to the basket, going to the basket, going to the basket.
That's what you need to do.
The right amount of threes. He took them, a couple rimmed out, but they were all good looks. He wasn't doing the setup, step back, all of that stuff. I mean,
you know what else he wasn't doing?
Much better approach.
You know what else, John? He wasn't sulking. I'm talking about
a little.
Yeah, but
I'd say
I feel like you're thinking about
50% of his drives end with his arms in the air.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, you're thinking about the way he is.
Even when he makes it, where was it? You look at him, they're always up.
That's such like the lasting impression is him being like running back, like looking back.
That's all, right before the camera pans to the rest of the action. The last thing you see is Tatum looking around like this.
Even after
so true.
That's his logo. But no, what I mean by that is I'm not just saying the way it looks when he's looking at the officials. I'm talking about how it looks for his teammates. It's like we know he's not checked out, but it was that sort of body language that it's just not encouraging for your guys.
Right.
Just evolve. Just grow past it. Right. You got to be a veteran. You can't do that.
Which
you can't
is why
do the complaining. You can't do the sulking. You just got to be like, head down and go.
Exactly.
But
it's contagious.
The reason why I liked his last outing, right? Because I felt like he did that less. And he just stayed with it and he stayed focused and he just tried to get himself out of it, do other things to be productive, right? If the shot wasn't falling. Whereas the other Tatum from last season would force the issue, or the Tatum from last week would shoot his way out of a slump instead of trying to find other ways to score or find teammates. So
anybody see if LeBron was asked about Kanter?
I haven't seen any LeBron quotes here. I don't know if he spoke.
So yeah, I think that was really important. I really do. And then you look at how everyone responded and the way it was all put together today. This is exactly what Ime has been trying to do for it seems like the last couple of weeks. See these guys turn that corner without Jalen, and in this instance, without Robert Williams either.
Yep. That's somebody's sending me something. LeBron James on Enes Kanter. He did speak about it.
Someone's watching.
I think if you know me, I don't really give too many people my energy. He's not going to be someone I give my energy. He's always kind of had a word or two to say in my direction. I see him in the hallway. He blew right by me. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, Sherrod's tweet was interesting because if Kanter was really wanting to address him, he walked right past him. Sherrod tweeted that video of them two, and like, look, I don't expect him to be like corner him and be like, listen, I need to talk to you about something. But I thought he would say something, but I guess he didn't. LeBron's right in that regard, but at the same time, he's not trying to have that conversation. Like, come on, LeBron. Like, he's trying to protect.
No.
He's trying to protect the rep. The bottom line at the end of the day.
That's what it is.
LeBron doesn't want to have that conversation, right?
No, there's no way.
Right.
It doesn't end well for him, no matter what happens throughout that conversation, because Ness is going to be transparent. He's going to share that, whatever he says to him.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. So anyway,
I think Kanter, and the ESPN broadcast, credit to them, they did bring up the situation between the two, which I didn't think they were going to do, just because
me
of the
neither.
ties that they have.
And they showed the shoes, which I didn't think they were going to do.
They showed the shoes. They talked about it in a little bit of detail.
Actually, televised game. Like, this was a good opportunity for if Kanter really cared that much to say something.
They must have had a real editorial conversation behind the scenes on this,
They definitely did.
Which is like, we're not worth S as a journalistic entity if we absolutely don't mention this. Like, it is embarrassing to not say something.
They were all prepared for the whatever they said. They were all prepared to say something, so that was a discussion.
Yeah,
they did flip it in the end. They flipped it on Kanter in the end. They basically blamed Kanter for going that route and not talking to LeBron directly about it.
Going to the public, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's kind of what LeBron's saying too, is like, you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. But at the end of the day, what Kanter's doing is he is bringing publicity and knowledge awareness. Yeah, thank you. That's the word. That of what's going on. If he goes up to LeBron James one-on-one and tells him how he feels, that's the end of it. Nobody finds out. Nothing comes of it. So he's obviously going to go this public route because it's for the greater good. He probably knows at the end of the day that LeBron's not going to hop on a plane with him and go see what's going on over there. But he's generating discussion, and people are more and more, I guess, interested or looking into what's happening over there. And there's a lot of, the NBA is not the only hypocrite. There are a lot of hypocrites involved in this situation because so much of what we do here day to day is tied into China. So, not everything, but there's just a lot of things that go on day to day that you're depending on China about. So it goes well beyond LeBron James in the NBA.
Yeah, and I get the message was you're going to be about that, and you're going to be about human rights struggles and X, Y, and Z and causes. Right. Like, don't forget these guys.
Right?
It's got to be all people, and I think that's where the message is. It's like, guys, don't turn a blind eye to stuff. We're making money here, and I mean, NBA's got a problem, but the ESPN thing, I was very surprised because I thought they were going to try to gloss over it, and they, like I said, they clearly had a legit editorial discussion beforehand, which
they kept it newsy, which was
the
good.
Journalists in the room must have been like, we cannot not do it because we lose all rep. You can't ignore it.
And they would have.
Yeah.
I would have definitely said something on, not that nobody cares what the hell I think, but I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot of people that have been like, wow, like they just completely ignored the whole thing, which just goes to show it does give you a peek inside like how media works and how business can affect the news that you're getting and the stations that you're watching. I mean, no one's an idiot. Everyone knows that, depending on the relationships that certain
but it is funny that ESPN
have.
Was critical of Kanter more than LeBron.
Right, that's what that was. They flipped it on Kanter in the end.
Yeah, which is funny. Is like, well, he said these things, but maybe
Doris Burke went to bat for LeBron in the end.
Maybe he should, because LeBron's their hero in bread and butter. Going back to what Paul Pierce said about his ESPN experience, which is like, It sucks, man. All you got to do is talk about how awesome LeBron is, Right. So he's over there on the other channel, telling his stories. But,
right.
Anyway, yeah, I'm glad they brought it up because it would have been real horseshit if they didn't. So
they brought it up. I hope that. I mean, I don't think it's going away. I mean, Kanter's going to keep doing his thing as he should, and I don't know if LeBron's ever going to comment.
Bring
on it
attention
or not,
to it. Keep doing it. I don't. LeBron. If LeBron's ego gets a little bit bruised by it, so be it. Kanter's doing the right thing.
I want to know if Kanter will get the Kaepernick treatment at the end of the season. If another NBA team will sign him, or if
this is his last deal.
NBA will say, stay away.
You won't see him again.
Yeah, I never thought about that. You're right, John. Yeah, this is it.
There's no chance because, I mean, this is how it works. Like, if Colin Kaepernick was Pat Mahomes, he'd be playing football. But because he was a fringe player, everybody blacklisted him. And that's what's going to happen with Kanter. He's not worth it.
He's not considered, unless he's in Portland, I guess, he's not considered valuable enough to a team to take on that
they don't want to deal with the whatever back,
right. But it's not right because he is still good enough to play in the NBA, 1,000%. So if he isn't in the NBA next year, he's blacklisted. That's my.
There's no chance. It's exactly that. People are not going to want to.
Portland doesn't bring him back. It's like, all right, he's not playing.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
But you know what though, Kanter will definitely stay busy.
I feel bad.
He doesn't need the NBA.
You see it in every sport. Certain guys get away with stuff because they can still play. Other people, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so this is the end. You already seen it. I mean, association with a team is enough to knock you off the air in China. Daryl Morey moves from Houston to Philly. Philly's still not on the air in China.
Celtics are toast,
it's Philly and Boston. Those are the two teams. So wherever Kanter goes next, that team's gone. So.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that team, whatever. So anyway, I think Bobby's gone. Sherrod not going to make it.
Tatum's up right now.
We're past the hour mark. Those guys are still talking. They're enjoying themselves. So we will once again draw attention to our sponsor for the evening, calm.com/garden. Jimmy, keep your phone in your friggin' pocket. 40% off a Calm Premium subscription. Go get some right now.
Don't look at me.
Number one sleep and meditation app.
That's what you should do with the Calm app. Use one of those beats and do a cover of a song.
Well, we said Calm has sound effects, music, and stories, and we're gonna let Josue end today's show with a story. Go ahead, Josue.
Oh, well done. Oh, it's not that big a deal, but I guess it's one of those you had to be there moments.
He's been trying to tell his story. His Jalen Rose.
He did.
Story.
He left a cliffhanger on us. You're right.
I'm sharing an elevator with him, and you know how it is getting up to the media, up top. So the guy starts going down. I'm like, oh no, man, you wanna go up? He's like, oh no, we have to go down first, and then we're gonna go back up. I'm like, oh, all right. So the elevator drops. I'm thinking Jalen and I think he was with someone from ESPN. I'm thinking these guys are getting ready to go out, thinking that the elevator's going up. So as soon as the elevator opens, they start walking out, and I'm like, no, guys, this isn't the media section. It's upstairs. They're like, so Jalen stops in his tracks. And he's looking at me like, man, you're saying this with such conviction. I'm gonna stay in the elevator. I'm like, yeah, man, you're going up. And the woman, the ESPN was like, no, Jalen, we're going outside. I go, no, trust me, the media section's outside. And she goes, no, we're not going to the media section. I'm like, oh. And then Jalen looks at me, smirk, just goes, well, thanks for looking out, man. Like, kind of like shakes his head and laughs. I'm just like, you know what? I shouldn't have said a word. Like, why did I get so into that?
You're trying to be helpful, man.
Because everyone made that mistake. The elevator's going up, and then you just step out, and I'm like, no, guys, no, you don't want to. Trust me.
Where were they going? Wherever they were going, you weren't allowed. I'm sure.
Yeah, they were going somewhere much cooler than the press area.
And then the way Jalen said it was kind of like stay in your lane, bro. Like, don't worry about us over here. I'm like, all right.
Jalen was like, what's this guy's deal? As the elevators close.
But he was listening to me at first. Like, he's kind of looking at her, being like, no, I kind of believe this guy. And then.
This guy knows stuff.
And then sense came through. He was just like, wait a minute, why am I listening to
We're like, see you at the Red Lobster, Jalen, as the elevators close on you.
He's like, good looking out, man. I'm like, sorry, Jalen. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I tried. That we're good. Have fun. You too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elevator dude's looking at me like, dude.
Jalen's like,
I know what I'm doing, man.
Security guard, like, yo, get security, get this guy out of here.
Yeah,
no, like Bobby. Drunk fan just got in the elevator.
He's looking at my badge, my media pass. Like, is this legit? What's this?
Yeah, make sure that media pass is backwards. We don't want anyone seeing what it said.
I don't even. Somebody might be trying. If somebody,
somebody had a good comment. I'd expect that from Bobby. Come on, Josue.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is funny. Someone was trying to get in. If it's Bobby, I'm not letting him in. If it's Sherrod, I'll let him in for a minute.
Oh, you can't tell?
No, they came and left.
It's definitely Bobby.
Yeah.
Because he will have to go listen to a news conference,
said,
right?
Take some calm, Josue.
Yeah, so seriously.
Yes, exactly. Richard knows.
Dude.
Richard goes, it's the conviction. Exactly. You can damn near convince anybody to do something if you do it with conviction.
No, you absolutely can. I tell people
Yeah.
that's one of my pieces of advice to everybody. When I have either interns or students or people, younger people I work with, is just act as if, like
Right.
nobody knows any
Fake it till
different.
you make it.
There's one great this is a random thing, but like there's a
Jay
movie.
looked at me for 2 seconds and he stopped dead in his tracks. He's like, I'm not getting out this elevator. This guy's serious. Like,
There's a movie called The
Jalen,
Paper.
no, there's a bomb out there.
right?
No, there's a Michael Keaton movie called The Paper where they're running a newspaper, and it's pretty good cast, like Glenn Close, Randy, the Crazy Quaid, whichever one that one, Randy Quaid,
I probably started in college.
Robert Duvall, blah blah blah. And there's one thing where he wants to go into a police station, and they can't be there because they're trying to get a story, and he just walks right by and he just goes, "Hey, what's going on? Good to see you," and just walks right by the front desk, and he turns to his guy and he goes, "There's not one building in America you can't get into with a clipboard and a confident wave,"
So back in the day, that's how I
that
got.
guy knows where he knows where he's
Yeah,
going.
he's like, "Hey, how are you? What's going on?" They're like, "Whoa, that guy clearly is supposed to be here." So,
That's how you got to get like when there's an open seat that's way better than your seat, like at a sporting event or concert. You just got to act like it's your seat. Don't make any eye contact. Be confident about where your seat is at. Like, oh, there they are, right there. Just there's your seat until somebody boots you out, and then you have to pay. Oh, this is not my ticket. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, shit! Oh, totally.
It's 17 rows up. My bad.
Bobby, we're trying to wrap. So we'll give you the last say here. On we're in the interviews. Anything you like? Anything that?
Who are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
Huh?
just go.
Just go.
That one went over my head. Anyway,
That's all right.
Yeah. We were in with Tatum. Just talking about schmoozing with the All-Stars and feeling like and stuff like that. Yeah.
What was he trying to do with the FaceTime thing?
Who, Tatum?
Yeah. Who was that? Was that Deuce? Who was it?
I don't know. I didn't catch it. I was bouncing back and forth between LeBron and Tatum.
I saw on Twitter that it was Evan Turner, I think.
We heard some of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what he was doing.
LeBron threw the fist at Kanter there. The most damning line to me, he walked by me in the hall and didn't say anything. So, LeBron, we wondered how he was going to approach it. Basically pinning it on Kanter, not addressing the specifics of the accusation.
Yeah, I got no time for this guy. It's almost like what they're talking about isn't the story. If you make the story about, this guy and whatever beef, like it's not about the beef. It's just about the guy. So he makes it about Kanter. This could be anything. This could be about something that has nothing to do with human rights, Yeah, so he's avoiding the topic because he doesn't want to discuss the topic.
Right.
He can go at Kanter for not coming up to him to talk about it man to man or whatever you want to say. So
yeah, and
depends how the question was asked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was essentially asked what his reaction was to Kanter wearing LeBron on his shoes and using his likeness to criticize.
But that's not the question.
That
the question should be: Do you think what he's saying has any merit about you?
Right.
Then it's a much tougher question to answer. But when you tee him up for the question that's going to be able to swat away Kanter.
Hey, what do you think of Kanter wearing your face on his
sneakers?
Get?
Right.
Yeah, right.
What do you think of this guy? So,
hey, get a load of this.
The way he asked the question really is so key, and these guys know it. Like.
They know
give them the out, they're gonna take it. And
hey, how big a doofus is Kanter? Basically you're teeing them up for it.
Yeah. Hey, pretty lame move by Kanter.
Yeah,
LeBron,
that guy sucks, huh?
Hey, right?
I'm surprised
remember that time we joked about it?
I was getting ready to queue up the question. I'm glad someone else asked. I'll give whoever that was some credit. Anyway.
No, you want to ask it. You want to ask it next time.
John, you wondered how he was going to get out. I kind of had an idea remember the scuffle they had when he was on the Knicks and they got into it? That was essentially what he threw it back to. He's always had a problem with me. I don't know what's up with this guy.
Yeah.
So there he goes. I'm not going to answer anything else about it.
Going to label him a hater.
Well, the lines have been drawn. You're either Team LeBron or Team Kanter from now on. And I know what side I'm going. I know who I'm going to war with.
Yeah.
Yes, he Kanter.
Yes, he Kanter. All right, so Bobby, last, like I said, you've been in and out here. So anything you want to close on?
I like where they're headed the next week or so. I think they'll have the Thunder. The Rockets are a really bad team, so the schedule's lightening up a little bit here. That Nets one's going to be big on Wednesday. But overall, I think as guys start to enter this lineup again, I'm curious on Rob. No real update on him today. That'll be something to look for tomorrow, just in terms of his outlook, because didn't seem like he was going to miss a ton of time. Now we're talking about 2 games here. They got to get him back as quickly as they can, because they're still at their best when he's on the floor. But overall, like it's great. This is my big takeaway from today, that you can sustain without some injuries, because this team didn't look like it had the depth to win a game like this with 2 starters out, and they did it rather handily. Big breakup for Tatum too. You can't I think that's actually something that could keep rolling, is this Tatum stretch going forward.
Yeah. It's
cool.
The 2-star without 2 starters against a quality opponent, and playing this caliber of basketball, like I said, there's literally nothing but positives about tonight. So you're dying to carry it forward into tomorrow. You know, like people were joking on the thread here, like, I can't wait to see the Garden Report tomorrow when they lose, you know, and like
Thunder have been the ultimate trap game this year. Ask the Lakers. They've lost to them twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got 2 of those.
So careful there. But anyway, yeah. He's on a run right now.
They lost to the Bucks by
would y'all let John finish?
So they're coming from Milwaukee for what it's worth.
It's so close. So close.
I'm trying to end the show.
I know.
I'm just screaming
Would
out
you let
names.
him, please?
Good night, guys.
You.
You guys got stuff to do. Sit tight. Sit tight. I got something for you guys right after. But once again, thanks for watching. Subscribe. No Pats this weekend, but we got Celtics tomorrow and then another Celtics game on Monday. So we'll be back for more. 24 hours or less. So we'll see you then. Again, com.com. Go get some.